The Lagos State Judicial Panel on Restitution for Victims of SARS and other related matters today listened to the testimony of 2 petitioners out of 6 petitions it listed for hearing. In one of the petitions, a driver, Francis Osajowe, narrated how he landed at the police station August the 15th, 2020, after he allegedly bought a stolen car. He said without conducting any investigation, he was beaten, tortured, suffered a broken hand, was paraded as a criminal, and then illegally detained.
On the 15th of August 2020, at about 4 p.m., 4:30, I was arrested and taken to Olosun police station in respect of the car I bought from Mr. Hafiz Ashogba, CSP Aroba Phillips now came, and when he came, he asked me how I bought the car, how did I buy it, and I told him I bought it from one Mr. Hafiz Ashogba. After that, he asked Mr. Taiwo to handcuff me and that I should produce the gun I used in robbing the occupant and in snatching the car. And I told him I bought the car and I have evidences to prove. Not minding that fact, he said he should handcuff me and he started beating me. He brought out a baton. Mr. Taiwo gave him a baton and a handcuff. So he handcuffed me and Mr. Gbenga Samson, my mechanic, and started beating me. He beat me to the extent that I couldn't move, my bone dislocated. And I told him, sir, with all due respect, I bought this car, I can take you to where I bought it. At least you should investigate before. He said that blood must come out from my body before he stops. And after beating me for like 30 minutes, he said they should throw me into the cell, myself and Mr. Gbenga. I was detained. Investigation started. By Wednesday, the 17th, I was bailed after my family paid the sum of 255,000 cash. After my release from SARS detention, I had to go and seek for medical attention, the local people to treat my hand. And my brother called me from abroad, the US, to tell me he saw a publication on the internet as regards me having a case and portraying me as a criminal and as a hoodlum. And I told him, how did he get the story? He said it's on the internet. I should check Google Chrome, put in my family name, and I'll see the story.
In another petition, an officer with the Nigerian Agricultural Quarantine Services, Mr. Tella Adesonya, narrated how he was illegally detained by police when 2 men alleged that he was a hit-and-run driver after a random stop and search by a police officer.
That was the day I got to know Woman Superintendent Helen Otitoju. Helen Otitoju was the divisional traffic officer at Iba. When I was detained at Igodo called Iba So Iba informed the DTO that so thing happened. The instruction that brought me to Iba, the instruction that said I should go straight to the cell was from Helen Otitoju. So she now called me and said, I said, Madam, I won't write anything. Take me to court. I think an hour later, the DPO himself now arrived. Chief Superintendent, yes, CSP, Olusha Kingbenga. So they now marched me to the DPO. He now said, what happened? And I told the DPO, so thing. That the only thing that stopped me at Gondo was a check. If not for a police check, what I do? So after that explanation, the DPO said, I want to detain him. You people don't have sufficient evidence to tell me to detain him. Go and look at the car. DPO went out, walked through my car. There is no single dent on my car. So when the DPO talked, he insisted he won't sign my detention notice until he is convinced that I'm the one that knocked somebody down. From the DPO's office, the DTO took me to the cell again. After about 30 minutes, they came and bring me back, and they brought two men. Myself, the two men, the DTO now went to the DPO again. The DTO now presents those boys. When I say DTO, I mean Helen Otitoju. Helen Otitoju now presented those two boys to the DPO, Olusha Kingbenga, as those that witnessed the incident when it happened.